and just drive. I wanna be the only one to make it to the line. I'll take it to the edge for a ride and live 1,000 lives. But maybe I could be the one riding to the setting sun tonight. Just drive.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brett Keenan here from TKA Broadcasting, bringing you another video. Today we've been given the special opportunity to drive around in Fernando Alonso's 2015 McLaren Honda around the Silverstone circuit in preparations for the 2016 pre-season testing at Catalonia. I have to thank Ron Dennis and all his boys at McLaren to give me this opportunity to drive around in a previous car, which is not going to be as quick as the 2016 car, but you know, just to get the mileage, to understand how the McLaren Honda works, and pretty much get an understanding of what I'm going to be coming to deal with, you know, team-wise, engineering-wise, and all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about setups for this, because we're just going to be doing at least 10 or so laps around the track, just to get an understanding in the feel of the car. This is in time trial, of course, so tyre wear and all that, it's not going to be too much of a drama. I've also made it a little more interesting by turning the HUD off, so it'll just be onboard showing of the car in the T-cam. So while we do it, we'll have an understanding of the track. So as you can see, there's no HUD, so I'm pretty much blind going through this. But it gives you a more real feel of being on board a Formula 1 car around the Silverstone circuit. Silverstone, not preferably one of my favourite tracks on the F1 calendar because of all its tricky corners and whatnot. So we're just going to take it a bit slow. Especially, got the rear a little bit taily, so just remember that we're using Fernando Alonso's car, but we're actually going to be in Jenson Button's chassis for the 2016 season. If you haven't watched the video that I just previously uploaded a couple days back, we've had a team switch in the setup before the pre-season testing, so that Felipe Nasr can return to his spot at Sauber, finding his financial fitting to get back into the team. We were left without a drive. Jenson Button announced that he wasn't going to partake in this season, so we took an opportunity. We hit up Ron Dennis and the boys at McLaren Honda to see if we could have a chance to have a crack at the big show, which put Stefan Van Doom on the reserve bench again, because we know he wanted his big crack at the Formula 1 season. So unfortunately for Stefan, he's going to have to take another year in waiting. We're going to have a chance to show our credentials after the great performance that we showed in the post-season testing at Abu Dhabi in the Scuderia Ferrari. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't actually going to halt our initial plans to go to Ferrari in the future seasons, but it is probably going to actually end up being probably a lot harder to achieve now that we're not in a Ferrari spec engine. But I'd like to think that with the car as it is, we should be able to punch out some good results for McLaren Honda. Maybe if we stay on for a few more seasons, if we don't get a good contract deal for another good team later on down the road, we'll strive to make this team worthy enough to win races again. So it's going to be a really trying season, I'd say, but I think in personal perspective, we're going to be a lot higher up than what we would have been at Sauber. So we're just coming down the Wellington Straight here. I think it's the Wellington Straight, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not very big on the corner names through Silverstone. Now, if it was Austria, I'd be able to tell you every corner name and how to approach them. So it's a bit different here at Silverstone. I only know the Wellington Straight, Maggots and Beckett's, and I think that's pretty much it. So give me a bit of time later on. Might do some track maps on board the McLaren Honda before each race. We'll just go massively wide through the original Turn 1. Heading up to Maggots and Beckett's now, so we're not gonna go all out in this. We're just gonna get an understanding of the track, and I'm gonna say it actually seems to be a lot easier for us to control the car when there's no HUD or anything like that, because we're not following the map. There's no the only thing we've got on is the dynamic racing line, which I probably will turn off when it comes to the actual career, just to make it a bit more challenging. Of course, Ultimate AI, I'm not going to be messing around with Legend AI, because I've proven in this game that I can take it to the Legend AI and more. I actually did a race a few years back, well, sometime last year when the game came out, in a manor, and managed to finish 5th in a full 100% race around Abu Dhabi on the Legend AI. So goes to show I can go toe to toe with the Legend AI, and I think Ultimate AI is going to be the real challenge here. So we're going to definitely go hard out straight from the get-go. If we don't perform well enough, well, too bad. We'll just go on with it. We're not going to lower our standards just because it's getting too hard. I mean, in 2013, 2014, I was on expert difficulty, and then once I bumped it up to Legend AI, yeah, things were tough, but we pressed on, and then eventually we were going toe-to-toe with the front runners in the same cars. So it's pretty much been the same through here, except probably a bit easier for us to actually manage to become as good as we are now. So I mean, I don't like to toot my horn or anything like that. I'm not trying to say I'm the best or anything like that, but I've definitely proven that I can be ultra competitive. Probably not very good in the way of my tyre wear, because I play online with a good friend of mine, Alex Little. He has a channel, Pure Axle 69. I'll leave a link in that to the description below if you want to have a look at some of his videos. He doesn't upload very much anymore, but we've done multiple races in the past, and he's always managed to beat me on the account of tyre wear, because I go hard and go strong and burn my tyres up in the process. But yeah, we've had some really good toe-to-toe races, and when 2016 comes out, we might even be bringing out our own co-op series later on down the road, which will be live commentary as well as what you would expect from what's going to be happening here. So as you can see, this is actually live, so I am recording this as I'm racing this car around. So I think we've done about 3 or 4 laps so far. I think this was the 3rd lap. We're coming on the 4th one now, down the Wellington straight again. The car doesn't feel too bad, but of course, as I say, this is only time trial, so it's pretty fair to say that tyre wear is not being a big part in it. I was going to do it in quick race, and do a practice session, but I feel as though you struggle enough when you don't have the HUD on as it is, but it's pretty difficult to try and look around you and see who's behind you, because if you're not going really hard out like I am right now, it just goes to show, as we actually can put 2 wheels on the grass there, it just goes to show that you need a lot of awareness, which I'm not really too worried about at the moment, because I'm just cruising around, really just getting a feel for the car. But yeah, you don't want to be cruising around and then having someone snake up the ass of your car because you're going too slow. Not a good look. But yeah, I feel as though, even though it's just time trial and there's no tyre wear issues or anything like that, the car's feeling pretty good. So we're just coming around the last few set of corners to complete the 4th lap. And I actually feel as though, even though I can't see my gear ratio, because the helmet actually kind of interferes with that a little bit, I can still manage to know what gear I'm in and what gear I approach the corners. And I actually think that if things go well enough, I might actually end up doing a series similar to what I'm doing now, with no HUD, kind of like a pro season, but you know, without having to have all your assists off and all that kind of stuff. Just like this, just basically racing with no HUD. Whatever assists I want on and off. I generally do have a bit of traction control on, so it does make, you know, it gives you a bit more freedom of grip, but at the same time you're not completely cheating with full traction control. So that's pretty much the state of play. You can see a lot of bigger YouTuber names like Tia McMardick and Arava all choosing very unusual cars. I mean, I think Tia McMardick actually announced not too long ago he will be driving for Manor, so a low-class team that this year has actually proven to be quite consistent. I mean, Pascal Wehrlein's already scored points for the team this season, but I suppose when you've got a Mercedes engine under your belt and a lot of ex-Formula 1 engineers on your side, the team's going to eventually build itself up to become something great. So with the ability to tune your cars up throughout the seasons to make them better than your opponents is definitely going to prove to show that a Manor could end up being on the top step of the podium quite consistently if you decide to stay with that team for your whole entirety of your season and keep upgrading it to a point where it's as good as a Mercedes. And it's like the big YouTubers said, it's not so much that the teams are going to go backwards, but it's just going to be that some teams will improve themselves so much that they will become better than the previous cars in the category at the moment. I'm just currently going through a thing, made a bit of a mistake there. I just got interrupted there a little bit, so got a bit distracted as a result. So we're just coming around through, like I say, I don't know the names of the tracks. I'll get there one day. But as I say, I think as a little bit of a special treat to you guys, viewers, subscribers to either the TKA Broadcasting YouTube page or the TKA Broadcasting Facebook page, both links, well, this is going to be uploaded to YouTube anyway, but the link to the Facebook page will be put up in the description below as well. So as a special treat, we'll be doing a hot lap around the tracks where I'll study the track corners or corner names, how do you approach them and whatnot, and they'll always be in the McLaren Honda. It won't be in other teams like I haven't done in various other accounts that I had. Anyway, we're not going to waste too much time on this for very much longer. I was just trying to get a feel for the car, get out another video while I can, go wide again. I am actually also doing this as a bit of practice because I found that in the post-season test video, I was actually very distracted by talking and trying to play the game at the same time. So what I'm trying to do now is actually try and manage both pace and being able to talk as much as need be, so I'm not actually going quiet all the time. There might be a few times where I might go quiet to give you guys just a clean lap around the track without any commentary. But other than that, yeah, we're going to try and focus on getting the pace of the car in place while being able to talk at the same time. So a bit of multitasking, if you will, which, you know, let's face it, men aren't very good at that. So going to have to learn. I've got 14 days to do it. And yeah, I've got to say, I'm really looking forward to the release of 2016. I've been waiting for it for a long time now. The game is showing so much promise. Arava, T McMarty, X-Meta-G and all those big names have already been showing off what to come to expect from it, which personally I think is a bit of a tease, because, you know, these people, you know, they fully deserve the right to have the pre-early release to show it off to everyone, but at the same time it just makes you want the game more and more, and it's quite sorry, it does tend to get a little bit unnerving when you have to sit there and watch it, and then you've got to sit there and you look at your watch or you look at your calendar and think, oh man, I've got to wait this many days for it, and they're still playing it, showing off all the features that you come to expect from it. Like I say, they fully deserve the right to do it, and feel free to check their channels out. Probably already do anyway, but you know, they deserve the credit for what they've done, what they've achieved, and hopefully in due course, with enough videos and enough good work, I can hopefully reach the same goal. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you haven't liked the videos, please do that as well. Share it around with your friends, show them what to expect, because it really does mean a lot to me. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I was trying to do it with F1 2014, but of course there wasn't very much publicity going around for it, and it just really ended up me just giving it up because I just didn't find the motivation to do it, because I didn't have enough fan support to do it. So if you guys can really put in the effort to share it around with your friends, get them to like and subscribe to the channel, Facebook and everything, that would be a huge boost, and I would really appreciate it. I'd love to give you guys more content every so often as I can, but I really need your guys' help to do that. So like and subscribe, show me the support that I really do need at this point in time. I mean, I've been having a pretty rough few months lately, and I've just been looking for something to try and get my mind off things, and this is F1 2016 has been the perfect opportunity to be able to take my mind off it and get into something that I enjoy, which is gaming online, well, gaming in general, racing games and all that kind of stuff. I do pose a question for you guys, and I would love to hear them in the comment section below. So if you think I should use my Thrustmaster T80, which is, you know, a pretty substandard wheel, no force feedback, bungee cord feedback and whatever, say yes to wheel, or if you want me to just use the pad, which gives me the ultimate advantage because I'm well faster on the pad than I am on the wheel. Although that's only because I'm out of practice with the wheel. I did use the wheel for my first my first championship season when I drove with Sebastian Vettel for the Ferrari. When the game first came out, I did use the wheel for the whole entirety of the season, but then switched to the pad after a while of not playing the game, and then yeah, I've just found myself more consistent with the pad than I have been with the wheel. So if you choose the wheel, I'll definitely do a bit more practice to get used to the wheel again. Do a bit of setting changes to try and make the wheel more comfortable, because I haven't been able to find a good balance with the wheel to make me be able to take it. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, driving the wheel at the moment is like driving the pad. It's just as rough and reckless. So which is my driving is like at the moment, because I'm still trying to come to terms with recording live and playing the game at the same time. So I will get around to it, guys. I'll hopefully be better by the time 2016 comes around in 2 weeks time. So we're going to do 2 more laps and then we'll bring this video to a close. I always seem to go wide there, so it's always a big problem there. But anyway, it's been fun trying to do all this kind of stuff, because ever since I bought the Elgato game capture system that I do use for this, I've done nothing but, you know, I've wanted nothing more than to record videos for you guys on YouTube and, you know, make a name for myself. I'm not a very, what would you say? I wouldn't say I'm a very successful person. My dad's an accountant, my mum's a teacher at a local primary school, my brother owns his own restaurant, so me, I'm just a average day supermarket worker that makes a name in a small basis. So I'd like to be a bit more than that, and with your guys' help I could really achieve something here, and I'd really love to do that, because who doesn't want to make a living playing games all day, making money out of that? Sounds like your everyday cliche job description that everyone on YouTube these days wants to do, earn money by making videos all the time. But for me, it just means it would just give me a sense of accomplishment, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys could really pay part in that, because if you do, I will definitely reward you with more videos or even some little special treats here and there. So we'll cut the rambling down to a close here, and we'll just enjoy the last lap of our test. So again, car number is 66. Keep an eye on that through the 2016 season when 2016 comes out, because that's a car that's going to be either fighting it out in the top 10, maybe even potentially a podium as the season drags along. In McLaren Honda, I feel, well, as I said in the post-season video, I said that the possibility of getting in the points would be pretty difficult with Sauber, but I feel with McLaren Honda there is more of a chance, and I really think that in places like Monaco, Singapore, and maybe even Baku, in some of the more technical points, there is a strong possibility of potentially getting a podium. I'm going to be a bit presumptuous in saying that I hope that by the end of the season, first season, we're going to at least strive for 1 race win for McLaren Honda. So that's the goal, at least score 1 win for the team. And if we don't do that in season 1, then season 2 goal, if we don't get drafted into a bigger team then, will be to score a couple of race wins before we end up moving to Ferrari when that opportunity presents us. Because they've given me the opportunity to drive their car in the 2016 season, and I don't want to disappoint. So, about to draw this video to a close, but I just thought about it, and what better way to do it than to do a practice start. Now, of course, with 2015 you don't have the manual clutch system, but I suppose that doesn't matter. We're going to do it anyway, just for the sheer sake of it. So we're going to come around the last 2 corners here, and we're going to start to bring the car down to a crawl, and we're going to find a grid spot. So we're going to bring the car to a cruise, slow it down on the P1 and drop it into neutral. Not that I know I'm... There we go. So just bring the revs up a bit, and here we go. Oh, a bit of a bodgy start there. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't done it already. Check out the other videos. They're just as good, especially the breaking news one based on my switch to McLaren. Thank you very much for watching, and keep it real, guys.